back to this fine, is it afternoon yet? It's not even afternoon. I've got to say, I am so thankful for it not being afternoon yet. Because much needs to be done. Much needs to be done. I don't know what I'm doing with this legal stuff except to take it on and maul it. It's crazy. Seriously. I am at the courthouse, and that was an easy win because I had to relabel it. Seriously. Because there's a waiting line to get into the waiting, like, helpline, which is the first, you know, from what I understood. But I guess things are going crazy. And so, there's a line to get into another line for help. And they're very limited in what they can assist with. And I'm so glad that the gentleman would, like, set the precedence, the setting expectations part of what they can and cannot do. So, you know, I was thankful to talk to him for like a quick 5, maybe 8 minutes, going through the list of things that I needed assistance with. And a lot of the times, like, everyone's saying, like, oh, why don't you just go to the court? They have assistance there. They have paralegals. That's what they're for, et cetera, et cetera. And I guess some people just happen to call out. And so being low on staff, even if it weren't the case, if they were full staffed, there's still a limited amount of assistance that they can provide. So they can't provide you with actual paralegal assistance when you have specific questions. They're very, very much generalized through, like, it's people like who are basically not savvy with the internet or do not have internet access. So that's as much as they can provide, is like, okay, they can look up your case number and tell you where you're at and what's remaining, but they can't give you like certain due dates of like what is it that the judge will expect at a certain date, and what are the cutoff times, and like, or like, what are my rights? They can't. All they can do is give you forms and say, okay, so then you go to this office to file them, and after you serve them, and this is like, it's very, very, very generalized. You don't have to be a paralegal to answer to these questions. So there's a false conception, there's a misconception as far as what resources are there to assist you with. So it's like, I'm not, I took it well. I took the blow well, seriously. And, there's a part of me where, like, this is a really good self-examination point where it's like, okay, maybe this is part of the reason why, like, I am interested in dating again. So I could have some realm of, like, happy escape. So just like, okay, just like temporary, just, like, light and easy. It's all good, but I'm maybe, like, I'm things are better this way, where I'm not involved with, like, any substances or any possible, like, exterior realms of abuse, so that I can really just do what needs to be done. And I just had to laugh at it. Not those people who are like, oh my God, this person is gonna explode. not that kind of trippy laughing, like, where there's hidden massive tension. This is more like, oh my God, okay, so what's next? Let's have a little Tootsie Roll that I got from, like, the break room the other day, and we're gonna enjoy life today. We're gonna be okay, all right? It's now we've, like, made those few, like, steps to be more knowledgeable about what resources are out there, like where I can go to well before the court date happens, or like the trial happens, even though, like, there's 2 or 3 days between here and now when I have to face the judge and say, like, this is the stuff that I have. Is it okay? I'm sorry if I messed up. Sorry if it looks messy. I like, look, just at the risk of looking discombobulated, at least you're submitting something. And so there's a huge realm, like several layers of surrender. And so I'm, that's it. like, okay, so what am I going to do with the rest of my time? Okay, I'm going to go home. I'm going to just fill out the paperwork and I'm going to submit it. And luckily, I set an appointment today with a paralegal, which, like, I can't even think about, like, how I'm going to afford this paralegal. Like, that's just one extra thing. Like, I'm just hoping that my guides are gonna hit me with a bonus round, like, here you go, you can afford it, here you go, this is like what you can do. I'm just waiting for that point. Okay, so like I have to do some like major moves in order. I feel like I have to like invest a little bit more of doing in several avenues so that they can present me with that. But like I can't do it like cheaply done where it's a transaction, like, okay, I did this, now you owe me that. Like, I've never been that kind of a person, but at the same time, I know that I remember watching The Good Place and seeing how Tahani, she thought herself to be like so good because like she gave to so many charities, but at the same time it was this subtle facade where I forget, it was like it was not a full-on investment. Anyway, I maybe I have to rewatch it, but I know for a fact that there was a factor of like being ingenuine, like that was your ticket to ride out of here. And so I have to learn on so many levels. Like I don't even know what's up next, except I know it's like super big in order to be faced with these roadblocks. I mean, like, to me, I used to be like, oh, that little bitch did that, or she's doing that, or, and well, I'm accentuating that, within those manners, but like I used to be able to point the finger and be still accurate with like who was trying to do some kind of like witchcraft, occultist BS stuff. And like that shit doesn't matter, honestly. I've been shown that I'm so much more powerful than having to basically tattletale, So even though those are accurate findings, it's still like, what can I do about it? And you can't always trust the people that are in authority, like superiors, because there's certain like networks that are tampered with and tainted, and you got to allow room for that particular growth, whatever however that's gonna hold up. But for me, like, okay, there's only so much that I can do. I actually have a really nice judge, like very, very better than decent, and even though I can't take advantage of the fact that there are that there's that this judge has the ability to put themselves in someone else's shoes and speak to that rather than their principles of like, I deserve respect, so you're going to know exactly what you need to deliver, regardless of whether or not you can pay for it. And, so it's like people are already going through trials, and to amplify that when you're put in a very respectable earned position, like that's why I have a certain trust with how things are going to kind of unfold. And I always have to remind myself, once it's done, it's done. And after that, I pack up and leave. I just know that it's just leading me to the next step, whatever that is. So not to get so weighted and fixated on like, this is mine, that is yours, etc. Like, basically penny pinching. Like, I don't really feel like I'm doing that. I just know that I was so willing to let things go and just like, what are the next steps for us rather than itemizing everything. I was so willing to just like go ahead and move forward. And when somebody psychs you, like, just kidding, I'm gonna do this instead. You realize like, okay, go ahead and do that. I just know that this certain slice of life is over with, and I'm excited for the next, whatever that is, because the whole testing feature of spirituality and spiritual warfare is like, on to the next, you know? You can't get down on yourself for things that are just built into society, like certain constructs that have, you know, that are pending corrective action. Let me tell you that, yeah. Let me tell you that. I am 100% sure that when certain when the legal system exercises like no mercy based on these preconceptions of certain availabilities and conveniences and resources that are available to the layman that is struggling, you know, there's something that needs to be corrected there for sure. And people on the inside know this, so they either, you know, acknowledge it or they look away, you know. So that's just life, you know, it's life. So we're gonna go with the Medicine Woman Tarot, and even though this might feel like an excess, it's okay. This is a learning experience as we go, and I feel like, you know, I've had a good attitude in all of this, and I still have some remaining items to execute. So, you know, it's a blessing to know that, okay, so there's only so much I can do in that avenue. Okay, so what other parts can I invest in for the remainder? Now it doesn't feel like so much, because there's only so much that can, you know, now the ration is like narrowed down to like certain focuses. So that's the beauty in it all. Oh, snappers. Okay, what is this? All right, so this bridged over, but then this separated to the cup. It's hard because, like, it's like kind of, I'm in a parking structure, and what's out there is like super bright, so it's like tunnel vision in a way that like someone's selecting my vision for me, and it's just a light. It's like, you know, when I close my eyes, I see, you know, like when you see a remainder of light after you looked at it for so long and you're in the dark, and there's just like that remnant of an image. It's the image of pie, you know, not pie like a food. It's pie like, you know, the line, you know, that tilde thingy. 3 of bowls, or 3 of cups in reversal. Ooh, sirens. 7 of cups, and then 7 of swords in reverse. This is excellent, actually. Okay. Master number 77 here, but you know, like it's 7, you know, and reversal 7, so it's forming a box, you know, it's forming foundations. There's also, mind you, a band named L7 I discovered when I was in college, because they did a little like pop-up little pop-up was never used back then in like events. They just like sang at our school, like performed at our school. And you know what they performed? I think it was Shit List. And then when I looked it up, when the internet came along, like howdy doody, it was I realized that it was the what do you call it? Oh shit. The soundtrack to Natural Born Killers. That's funny. So forming foundations, we've come a long way. L7, 77, master number 77, which is the master revolutionary, master thinker. According to the numerology, King's Book Numerology. So it is paying attention to the possibilities, the dreams, no lie, no illusions. And with the 3 of cups in reverse, that's where some confusion sets in. I think this is like at face value, nothing to really celebrate, but when you like step back and look, you know, beauty skin deep, which is like the remaining messaging from the previous reading, which, you know, previous live reading anyway, it's there's so much more to it. So like low-key, we can celebrate. But, you know, if we want to put it on blast like I'm doing, yeah, it's so legit. It is legit. Beneath the covers, beneath the surface. Okay, so 10 of Wands inverted. This is what was bridging right here. There's a lot of cards, but we're just going to read them because inevitably you're going to pick X amount of cards anyway. So I just decided to let stuff go and just read it in chunks. No intimidation. Okay. So we have 10 of Pipes inverted, Ace of Arrows or Swords inverted, 4 of Pentacles inverted, the Sunset, which is Death, inverted, 8 of Pentacles inverted, and 5 of Pipes inverted. What the frick? Okay, so let's read it first like this. I mean, this is a repetition from earlier today. 10 of Wands, it's inverted, but this is the Medicine Woman Tarot, not the Mother Peace Round Tarot. Very much ancestral, but this is working at things. Like, it's a process. Like, if you're doing like beadwork or weaving or even knitting or crocheting, that's just like one at a time, and the people that are invested in it, if they like, they know it's a process, so they're not going to complain and gruel over it. In fact, the people that don't do that, that are invested in like patience is a process, and you're just loving what it is that you're creating and knowing who, the next owners are going to be of this, like, there's love. It's made with love. So that's what they're saying. I'm hearing bread. I want to make it with you. Anyway, there's a lot of truth in that. Like, it's surefire. This is like the Avatar. Do you see an arrow? It's the Avatar. Okay. Oh my gosh, what is that sign? That it's like that, but then it has like those little, what is that zodiac sign, or that's something. Like, I don't know my astrological signs, like Mercury placement. This is, something like that. But you can see that. So there's a lot of truth in that. It's ownership over your time, your resources, your reserves, because it's the dawn of a new day. Death is here, but it's like, dude, seriously, to get death upright twice in a day, like, fuck. Everybody say it with me, fuck. Like, not with a U, with an AW, like, fuck. Yeah. So everybody, schedules time. It's the most romantic episode. The sunset. It's not the sun falling. It's just where the sun meets the horizon. And you see different hues in the sky that you normally wouldn't see at any hour of the day, except that particular time. And it changes quickly, like it melts into the surface, our foundations. So you got to see that connectivity between like what's high and what's low, and just like, and know that there's an inherent truth in nature. So when you see that closure, it's like, dude, I was there to witness that, and it was so beautiful. Like, in not any other moment. That moment isn't even held for an hour of the day. It happens almost like it's drifting. Yeah, it's almost like an oasis. They're saying don't look back in anger. I heard you say. Yep, for sure. 8 of Pentacles inverted. Continuing to work at it, like twofold if you have to. It's okay. You've got it in you. Don't worry about it, okay? I noticed that the more invested I am with like what I'm doing, like, to trust in self is so much more like worthy than to in my experience, previous employers, for sure. And it's not to say like they left a bad taste in my mouth. It's just like that's where they were at, and I was at a different like wavelength, and that's just how it rolled. And unfortunately, there was some double talk and whatnot, but it's just a reflection of who they are, and also a reflection of who I was in not seeing it for what it was, and or honoring like my own truth, like just kind of skipping over that, like, oh, maybe that, creating excuses, like, oh, maybe this is, dude, no more. So 5 of Pipes inverted, 5 of Wands, I need a clarifier for that, so let's get the clarifier. Actually, I think it's hinting back towards this because there was a separation. You know, there was a bridge and then it hit the cup on this for the trio. So, with this like being like kind of like a fighting card, a quarreling card, it's pointing back to this this change up. Like a master revolutionary is focusing on their role as a visionary. So no lies, no illusions, no like no fluff. When you're in the clouds, no fluff. So the master revolutionary is thinking more about why we started it in the first place, why we like initiated ourselves and brought on others. Like, why is it like the purpose is purposeful living? Yeah. Okay. All right. Lastly, but not leastly, is like I know what I'm gonna do next. Like you're just intuitively guided. Now it's like stress free. Okay. It's so easy to say like, oh, you have nothing to worry about. Oh, you know, like worry is gonna kill you. Oh, worry is the root of basically you know, all illness. And that's like people don't realize how far that can go. So let's see what here we have. 5 of arrows, totem of pipes, which is I think the knight of pipes. Yes. And then the warrior, which is the chariot in reverse. So I'm parked here. Parked. The warrior is parked for just a moment. To build up confidence again in different avenues. So we're looking at the swords and the wand energy. So the Knight of Wands is like a go-getter. Right in the middle, still a go-getter. Stuck in the middle, still a go-getter. With a flat tire or parked just to like, let me tell you. Let me just recap on where I was like a couple of years ago, or even 5 or 8 years ago. I would sit in my car to gather myself because like a cigarette or 5 would not do it in a row, and like to just regain my composure, like fucking crying, like bawling, not knowing like how to fix it, because I thought I was doing everything to meet on my end of the bargain. And so like I would sit in front of like the AC on blast so it could like dry out my tears, like just dry it all out. Just so that I would not burden anyone who had to witness whatever or ask, you know, how I was doing, just so that they could fake an answer for me. So like to save myself all of that like BS, just dry it all out. So now I'm perfectly positioned to regain my confidence. Like I do have the one up. I do. Um So just chill, because even though people like will have to pretend friend you or be patient with how they observe you or whatever, um that's just our environment, whether here or there. So I learned to stop like hopping around places because there was too much BS. Like I learned that like mentally and emotionally, but when I left certain places, it was because it became dangerous. It became it wasn't a matter of preference anymore, or the like niceties were expired. It was like it did become dangerous. There was there's they told me Like, I'm not going to argue with my guys. Like, give me a better reason that everybody else can see from the outskirts. Like, dude, fuck everybody else. That's what they're saying. Like, I'm telling you right now, you gotta go. Like, especially like one of my fast food jobs, finding out that this dude is a pedophile and like fucking his own daughter. You know what I mean? Like, and then trying to like getting this. No, not doing that. Okay. Bottom of the deck. Oh, it's Wheel of Fortune. It's a harvest. You know. My guides say that like I am fully expedited, like doing so well on my journey, like the attitude, the approach, sharing that with others. Like, it's not a matter of like having no shame. It's just like you're taught certain lessons. Why wouldn't you want to share them with others? So it's like, you know, if you can amplify the winnings, and to go for it. Yeah, like I just don't see it like that, because it feels like I'm not cozy. I'm telling you, I'm not cozy. So, you know, it's comforting to hear that I'm, you know, that not I'm up to speed, but like I'm learning a lot of lessons that people hardly learn in one lifetime. So, or within different decades, you know. Sometimes it takes a decade. So Wheel of Fortune is on the bottom. Oh wait, what's on the bottom? Yeah. So what's on the top is the Fool card. I told you, planting seeds. That's the Fool card. Look, I don't even know if you could see. My eyes, seriously, like this light is a lot. Yes, I had just see that. Oh hey, what does this even say? Give me a second. Message retracted. Okay. So the message is retracted. Maybe they said something bad. Did somebody say something bad? Anyway. Yeah, so this is again reforming, like, you know, the Easter Island heads? I'm getting also Mount Rushmore heads. You see, like, that looks like a face. You see, like, oh shit. Very. Looking down, you know, in thought. So she's standing on that precipice of a cliff that's green, and feeling right as rain with the sun. I'm on spreading those seats, so it's like it can go anywhere. Not just where my current foundations, but like anywhere the wind takes it. So it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. I like it. Okay. Not just where the wind takes it, but also the stream. Do you know how much carry through that is? That's insane. I love the deck is balance. It's justice. You know, I was not going to do a reading here in like the part. You know what? When we talk about like consecrated areas and energetics that are built within like history and over time, I thought, hey, let's make use of this. It's kind of some like weird ass necromancy here. So I'm gonna try it and see what comes of it. And here we have the Justice card. You know how beautiful that is? There's hope. Yeah. Definitely. Okay. So I think that is it. Do you want a card for a takeaway? Do you want a card for a takeaway? I'll pull a card for you. Just let me know. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, while I do my little closure thing. So, thank you to all my supporters of light and love in every which way that you do that, because now I'm here and now I'm fucking awesome. So, and I'm attracting that kind of a crowd. So, bravo. Bravo, encore. I get to pause for as long as I want. That is my life now. I appreciate it, and may you get your blessings for your involvement in every which way that the universe sees fit. So, upon closing all portals, I send all energies back to their appropriate locations outside of mine with their appropriate karma is due, assisting with that sequence of roll out,